Counter magic is good for the game. In fact, it's one of the best parts of Magic the Gathering in general. Understand that saying those things as a mono-red player physically pained me, as much as I, as a designer of games, understand that intellectually. Now, I will say, we don't want all of our counter magic to be counterspell or force of will, but if everything could be spell pierce, I genuinely think we would have a perfect game. Turn 1 interaction is an absolute must-have for so many different reasons. For one, it can be really easy to treat the first turn as something you just kind of gloss over. You know, draw, tap land, pass, draw, tap land, pass. Okay, now we can begin the actual game. But the reality is that an opening like draw, tap land, pass is balanced around the idea that I can draw basic do something. A 1-mana red threat. A dark ritual into Hypnotic Spectre if you're a psychopath. A like and subscribe if you're cool and based. Or an island into holding up Spell Pierce. These are all valuable and interesting game choices that you can make. And the first turn should be an environment where there is interaction and it's not just a fest of setting up for later games so everybody can play mid-range soup. So what I'm saying is that you need to spell pierce your friend's Sol Ring. And let's be totally clear here. If your table sees you spell pierce somebody's Sol Ring and they say that you're the archenemy, they're objectively incorrect. You've saved the table from a nightmare outcome where not only has one of your supposed friends left Sol Ring in their deck, but they've actually managed to draw and cast it turn 1. They would be 2 turns ahead of everybody else if not for your direct intervention. You spent a card and played a basic island on turn 1, and what do you get for it? You get eliminated in 3 turns. I'm so sorry. Please come play at my table, where I will reward you and thank you for spell piercing the Sol Ring. That said, if you spell pierce my turn 1 Skull Clamp, I'm going to bury you under my garden. Not every counterspell strategy is stacks, designed to completely stasis the game out until nobody's doing anything and permanents are only leaving the battlefield. The best and healthiest counter magic strategies are the ones for whom Force of Negation is functionally a side grade to Force of Will. They're using their magic to interact with their opponent's game plan, as opposed to, say, Yu-Gi-Oh! Style comboing off and playing through floodgates and hand traps. Good counter magic is about leaving mana up and forcing your opponent to do the same, making the choice to run a safer, suboptimal route, and viciously punishing your opponent if they don't see you do that and do the same themselves. Your opponent discarded an Atraxa on turn 3, so you left up the blue mana for the Spell Pierce, and they just jammed turn 4 straight into the Zombify, and you went, okay, I'll 1 mana wipe out your entire turn. It's beautiful. And again, nobody should be blaming the counter magic player in this situation. The combo player should be playing around the incredibly obvious Spell Pierce. When I get viciously punished by a Spell Pierce, I recognize that it's my own fault. Now, I don't tend to get punished by Spell Pierce specifically very often because I tend to be running Screaming Nemesis, but sometimes I try to burst lightning for lethal and I get punished for it. Spell Pierce is fair magic. It's not the only kind of fair magic, but if creatures are fair, Spell Pierce is fair. Any game action that can be neutralized by simply participating in the same game action, fundamentally fair magic. And I love that. Mana Tithe is an absolutely incredible, perfect card. Casting it at the commander table is never unsatisfying. Spell Pierce, targeting non-creature spells but requiring 2 mana instead of 1, absolutely beautiful. And most importantly, once you pay the mana, it goes away.